An unofficial Roblox book. Diary of a Roblox Noob. Book 1. Prison Life. Diary of a Roblox Noob. Prison Life by Robloxia Kid. Entry 1. Playtime's over. Or is it? This is Noob here. I'm fairly new to this vast and wonderful world of Roblox. Though, I have visited various games, and I've seen some things. Things that would amaze mere mortals. True wonders indeed. But now, I find myself transported to a new server. This game is grittier and tougher than any other I have encountered. Sure, the rules are pretty straightforward, but it's a tough place that will test you to the limit. This is a server like no other in Roblox, and I felt that firsthand when I entered it. When I entered it. This is Roblox, Prison Life. Prison Life is a pretty straightforward server. The rules are simple. If you're a prisoner, you have to break out of jail. If you're a guard, you have to keep all the prisoners in jail any way you can. There was another comma there. What the heck? And I mean, he just began a sentence with and. I mean, any way you can. There are also strange figures lurking around the jail called criminals. So prisoners and criminals are different in jail? I thought. I heard that you used to be a prisoner, but somehow it's. If you're a criminal, I heard that you used to be a prisoner, but somehow actually escaped the prison. These are great players, but they are also quite strange. Why would you want to break back into prison? I'll never know. All I know is that now it is my turn to break out of prison. That's where my story and this diary of mine. That's where my story, and this diary of mine begins. I spawned into prison life as a prisoner. I gotta admit, that kinda sucked. I wished I was a guard. Why? Well, let me tell you. Remember when I said that this server would take you to the limit? Well, I learned that the hard way. On the very first minute, I entered prison life. The very first few minutes that I spawned in the server, I got a taste of what it would be like. I mean, I had just spawned as previously stated 6 times. Someone cut me some slack here. The very second my protective bubble burst. Protective bubble? That's a Roblox thing, but why would he bring that up without clarifying what it was? The very second my protective bubble burst, a guard shot me. He shot me, right after I spawned. Can you believe that? I just heard the gunshot. There was a flash of light, and then my whole body was lying on the ground in pieces. My majestic yellow head was severed from my orange uniform. While I was lying in pieces on the ground, I managed to cry out to the guard, "Dude, screw you." I thought I heard the guard snicker before I vanished. Well, I respawned in a different place after that. I learned my lesson and hid in a corner. That was a very rude awakening earlier, and I didn't want to get shot again. Not very soon, at least. I could hear the guards playfully shooting at everything that moved. Man, they really meant business on this server. I creeped around and did my best impression of a stealth game. Hey everybody, look at me. I look like a stealth game. Looking around to see what was going on, but unfortunately, stealth didn't really get me too far. I suddenly felt a nasty jolt behind me. I didn't get into pieces, but the shock really knocked me down. I would later learn that I was hit with a nasty taser. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, everybody. Playtime's over. Everyone, get back in their cells now. Sorry, I just had a crisis on whether I should use a voice or not. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. It was the voice of the warden, or so I assumed. The whole prison was full of guards in blue. The prisoners in orange, like me, were all either stunned or knocked in pieces. This was really not good. I felt so bad on my first day in the server that I started this diary. Yes, I wrote you, or I'm writing you. Whatever. I'm writing this diary because being a prisoner here really sucks. Well, they better watch out, 'cause I may be a noob, but I don't quit. They may call me noob, but not quitter. Quitter as previously stated. Nope, no way am I gonna stay and take this. It's just like what the warden said. Playtime's definitely not over. Wait a sec. Was that what he said? Or was it playtime's over? Arg. I'm just not the brainy type. Anyway, I'll find a way to escape. You just wait and see. Entry 2. The Signal. Okay. Period. Today was my second day at the prison, and already a lot of things have happened. As the day passed, I saw what kind of life I could look forward to if I stayed in this prison. We had just barely been shuffled into our cells when we were awakened by the sound of the prison siren. I was jolted awake, as previously stated. And I hate that. Believe me, I've been playing games late at night long enough to hate being woken up early in the morning. Well, that's what they do here. I always need to catch up on my sleep, but I don't think I'll ever be able to do that here. I just cracked my thumbs. Once we woke up, we were shuffled to the prison cafeteria, where we ate oatmeal. I heard that's all we're going to eat. All the time. Oh great. From here, we were brought to the prison yard. It was yard time at the prison yard. This wasn't actually that bad. The prisoners could just roam around the yard, lift weights, or just roam, as previously stated. Like I said, it was okay, but there would soon be some drama. This was where I met Marty. Marty was a nice enough sort of guy. He was a prisoner just like me, but he had a cool kind of helmet on his head. I could see that he probably played on a lot of Roblox servers before prison life to get that. He certainly wasn't a noob like me. "Hey, noob," he called. "Yeah." "You new to prison? You new to the prison?" "Yeah." "Stupid question. I can already see that you're a noob. Sorry for asking." "But anyway, today is your lucky day," Marty said. "Really? How is that so?" "Well, if you're just like most of the inmates here, I'm sure you want to break out of this prison, right?" "Oh man, you got the words right out of my mouth. I hate it here." "Just as I thought. You may be a noob, but you ain't stupid, eh?" "Well, I've got an offer you can't refuse," Marty said. "Really? What's that?" "Come closer." I went near Marty. He made sure that no one was looking, and then he showed me a hammer. "A hammer?" "Psst, not so loud. If the guards spot you with this, you'll get busted for sure. Listen, all you have to do is use this hammer to break any of the toilets here at the facility. Once you do that, the toilet will break, as previously stated, and you can crawl through the hole in the wall. That will always lead underneath the prison and eventually out into the open, where you can make a break for it. Cool, isn't it? I bet that's what happens in real prisons too. Just dang, we shouldn't let that prisoner get a hammer. He broke the entire toilet with it without being noticed, and then snuck into the sewers through the pipes. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Marty was telling me how to escape this place. He was offering me hope. Wow, my thoughts exactly. Now listen, you can just hold on to this hammer while we clear the way. When the way is clear of guards, Just head to the nearest bathroom and hammer away at the toilet to freedom. What a great line. Marty handed me the hammer, and my heart was beating rapidly. I was so excited to break out of the prison. Unfortunately, I would later realize that it wouldn't be that simple. Nothing is ever that simple in Roblox, especially in prison life. Okay, I got it. But how will I know when the coast is clear? What's the signal? Just wait here. You'll know when we give the signal. Trust me. So I did just that. I trusted Marty and took the hammer, staying there patiently, waiting for whatever signal they would give me. Marty and his other boys ran off. It wasn't long before I realized what the signal would be. Nothing but a dud. I waited at the spot for a signal that never came. What did come were several guards. Hey you, what are you doing with that hammer? What? I didn't know what to say. I was caught completely off guard. These guards came out of nowhere and caught me red-handed. Or hammer-handed. With a hammer. How did that happen? Well, I was thinking of just fixing some loose boards on my cell wall. That's it. Yeah, 'cause cells are made out of wood. I said, Oh, actually, they say that. Your prison wall is one solid block. You don't need a hammer or nails to fix anything, one guard said. That is the lamest excuse I've ever heard. You've already been caught red-handed. You might as well be a little creative with the excuse you've got, another said. Oh man, shoot him. The guard was about to shoot me when a prisoner I didn't even know bonked him. They're trying to shoot one of us. Riot time. Before the guards could do anything, several prisoners were on them. More guards with guns and now shields arrived. The other inmate was right. A full riot had started in prison. All hell broke loose. But I wasn't really sure if that was the elusive signal that Marty assured me. Something inside me told me that it wasn't. Policemen were chasing the inmates all over the yard now. Some inmates were throwing stuff at the guards, but they had guns and shields. No match. I tried to run in the chaos. That was when I got shot again. I broke into pieces again, and I didn't even know who hit me. What a bummer. That was when I spawned in my cell. The whole riot had been stopped. Everything was quiet, and everyone was in their cells again. I saw someone in my cell with me. It seems that they had locked up someone with me now. Whoa, who are you? I asked. Heh, name's Joe. I see you got shot. Sorry about that. The riot's over, as you can see. I noticed. The guards caught me with a hammer. I think that's what started the whole thing. I am a noob, by the way. A hammer? You were the guy caught with a hammer? Joe sounded totally surprised about what happened. Yeah, what's wrong? Man, you really are a noob, dude. What is wrong now? I was really getting annoyed with my bad luck. Being a prisoner really sucks. Well, the only way a guard can catch you with a hammer is if the time expired. Time expired? What do you mean? Well, it's pretty easy to get a hammer around these parts. The guards and management are pretty lazy and careless, but the trick is to not get caught with them. You see, once you get a hammer, you'll have around 20 or 21 seconds before a guard spots you with it. Once they do, well, they can escort you back to your cell, or shoot you, depending on their mood. Everybody knows that. You were caught when the time expired. That was when it all hit me. I slapped my head with my hand, like this. Ow. It was obvious, but I didn't know it. I was played. Do you know any prisoner named Marty around here? I asked. Joe laughed. Do I? Everybody knows Marty. He's always been yapping about how he'll make the great escape. Well, during the riot, he finally did it. He got away. Wait. He finally did it. He got away. I completed Joe's sentence. Now we were married by law of nature. Now I really knew I had been played for an idiot. Yeah, you got it. He got away. I could see what happened clearly now. Marty always wanted to escape. Even before I entered the prison life server, he was always planning on it, but he never succeeded, for one reason or another. When he saw a noob join the game, he saw his chance. He knew that I was new to all of this and didn't completely grasp all the details and rules of the game. It was easy to figure out that I didn't know about the time limit before being spotted with a hammer. So he gave me that hammer and let me wait for a signal that would never come. While I stood there, the time expired and the guards spotted me. A prison riot broke out. Just as Marty had expected, and in all the confusion, he managed to slip away with his boys. I had to say, if I wasn't the one being played, I would have thought of that. I had to say, if I wasn't the one being played, I would have thought that Marty... Okay, I would have thought that Marty was a genius. He planned out every possibility, and when he saw his chance, he grabbed it. In a way, I actually admired Marty, but I hated him too. That was a really great play-by-play of what happened. That's like the equivalent of like... It was a really great play-by-play of the entire happenings that just happened, Sherlock. You really went out of your way to explain that. What did your publisher, your elusive publisher, require you to have a couple 20 pages in your stupid book? I'm so sorry, excuse me. Well, that admiration and anger won't get me anywhere. While I'm admiring Marty's great plan, he's outside the prison, free to roam other Roblox servers, while I am stuck here. I can't stand it. You just wait, diary. I'll get free from here somehow, and maybe even find a way to get Marty back in here for what he did. 6 a.m. Oh yeah. Entry 3. The riot. Again. Well, now, after the awful experience with Marty, I was immediately on my feet again. Oh, I'm not the kind of guy who just sits in a corner and mopes about failure. No way. I'm the kind of guy that comes back and is ready for more. So it wasn't long before I hatched a plan to escape again. This time, I would need the help of my new friend Joe. Joe and his other friends as well. Alright, that was competent. The plan was simple. When I saw the map of the prison, it was really so simple. It was almost as if it were staring at me. All this time, it was right under my nose. Yeah, all this time with the 5 seconds you've been on this. You see, there was a hallway just across the yard. Along that hallway was the prison armory. And of course, inside that armory was all the high-powered guns a noob could ask for. Boom! Oh yeah! If I could just make it inside the armory, I could get my hands on all those guns, as previously stated, and I could shoot my way out of the prison, as previously stated. And I could shoot my way out of the prison. Pretty cool. Eh? What is he, Canadian? Okay, diary. Now you know that I want to start a riot by breaking the armory, right? So how could I do that? Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. By getting a key card. Turns out the prison armory can be opened with a key card. If we could just get into the right one from any of the guards. We could open the armory and, well, you know the rest. Oh my gosh, he didn't repeat his entire plan like last time. I'm so proud of you. He didn't repeat himself. So how would we get a key card from a guard? Oh, he did it again already. That's both the simple and the hard part. We have to kill a guard to get his key card. That is the simple... Wait. I'm going to repeat that. Sorry. I hate myself. So how would we get a key card from a guard? That's both the simple and the hard part. We have to kill a guard to get the key card. That is the simple and the hard part. I was really beginning to wonder how I would do this. After all, it would be a matter of getting a small gun sneaking up to several guards and killing them all one by one till one of them drops the right keycard. That would be kinda impossible. Possible in other servers or games, but here, the odds would be against us. But not to worry, my new friend Joe had it all covered. Don't worry, noob. We're thinking the same thing as you. Me and the boys, we all want to escape too, and we were all thinking the same thing, starting a riot and such. Really? That's great, but how are you gonna do it? I asked. Simple. We got us some friends from the outside. We got friends on the other side. Guys who have lots of guns and who can give them to us. Criminals? I asked. Joe nodded. Wow. Now I was beginning to understand more about these mysterious criminals. Turns out, they were once prisoners, as I stated at the beginning of the stinking book, and can actually move freely outside the prison, as previously stated at the beginning of the book. But for whatever reason, they want to break into prison and help the prisoners escape, as previously stated at the beginning of the book. One of those means of escape was starting a riot, as stated several times prior. So now I knew for sure that there were 3 kinds of guys in the game, as previously stated at the beginning of the book. The guards, the prisoners, and the criminals. Well, for whatever reason, I just happened to be at the bottom being a prisoner. Well, wait, what? Well, for whatever reason, I just happened to be at the bottom being a prisoner. Well, yeah, that's how the game works, stupid. Well, I wouldn't stay a prisoner long. I would break out of with Joe and the gang, or at least I hoped. This time, things would be a lot different than with Marty. There would be no double cross, and things happened so fast. We were just talking in our cells when someone came in, someone I had never seen before. Noob, meet Frank. He's gonna be our ticket out of here, Joe said. Frank looked pretty unique. He didn't even look like a person. He had a giant fox. Or was it a dog face? Stinking furries. This guy had clearly been around Roblox. He nodded and was holding a big automatic rifle. Wow. Where'd he get that? How'd he get it in there? He was pointing it at the guard, who had no choice but to open our cell block doors. Hi, noob. Wait, is this Frank? I have no idea. Hi, noob. This is our day of freedom. The guns are in those crates back there. Take your pick. Christmas just came really early, Frank said. Woohoo. We opened the boxes, and there were a ton of guns. There was one for each of us in the gang, and then some. I just met this Frank character, but I thought he must be pretty good on the outside to get all those guns. We all took a gun each. I took a semi-automatic rifle. Joe took a shotgun. That was when the fun really began. We just started shooting at everything that was moving. It seemed like everyone had a gun. You get a gun, and you get a gun, and you get a gun. This is America. And there was gunfire everywhere. Most of us had smiles on our faces, guard or prisoner, but we were all very serious trying to get away. I was able to nail some guards out. Joe was also able to get his fair share. This was all working perfectly. With all the guards that were in pieces, I was beginning to finally have hope that maybe, just maybe, I would be free. Right then I started thinking that was when the tide turned, and for the wars. 'Cause how could the tide change towards the better if you're already winning? More guards started showing up, a whole lot more. For every guard we nailed, it seemed like 2 more took their place. And their shields were not making things any easier. For us, Frank and the guns from the outside came through. What? Oh, And their shields were not making things any easier for us. Frank and the guns from the outside came through, but we severely underestimated the sheer number of guards that the prison could deploy. "Joe, they're taking us all down," I said. "Keep firing, kid. The exit's almost there." It was Frank. He took down 2 of the guards until he was suddenly handcuffed from behind. He didn't see the guard until it was too late. When you get handcuffed, there's not much you can do. Your only option is to respawn back at the jail cell or in prison. "Frank! Oh man!" I saw what had happened, but before I knew it, I felt something on my wrists. I was handcuffed too. Man, these guards were like ninjas. Nothing personal, kid. How could they sneak up on someone like that? Joe, help!" I cried out to Joe, but he was gone. There was no answer, and I couldn't see Joe anywhere. I just hoped that he had gotten away in all the ruckus. I respawned right in the canteen with Frank. He looked kind of weird with the orange uniform on, and his fox head. We both had no guns on us. They got you too, kid," he said. "Yeah, what a bummer. What about Joe?" "I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But if he's not here, then that means that he got away." That was a relief. It would be a big comfort if at least one of us got away. So now I'm back to writing another entry here in this diary. I sure wish I was writing from outside prison. I really thought that it would happen. Now it turns out they got me again, Turns out they got me again. What a surprise, even though we literally read it happening. Life can get frustrating for a noob. Well, I'm still not giving up. These guards can't stop me all the time, can they? Sooner or later, I'll find a way to make an escape. This is glorifying escaping from prison. What bad morals. Entry 4. Guest Day. Okay, before the day started, I thought about everything that had happened so far. I was fooled into carrying a hammer and being a decoy, and that sucked. I participated in a jail riot, and I was handcuffed, and that sucked. Again, there had to be a way to get out of this prison. Well, it wasn't all bad. At least I had Frank with me. I spent most of the day with Frank, and he was actually pretty cool, except for, the fox head he wore all the time. For some reason he'd just have that and be a furry in prison. But he wasn't made fun of at all. It was fun hanging around with him all day. In fact, after spending a day with him, I could see why he was a criminal. What? After spending a day with him, I could see why he was... Wait, he's a criminal? Why is he in prison then? He's just a prisoner again. What? He was pretty smart. A lot smarter than Joe ever was. He talked a lot more about the outside world and all the other servers that he had visited in Roblox. He told me about some really cool stuff outside, like UFOs and even zombies in other servers. It just excited me. Ooh, it excited me even more. When I get out of prison, I want to visit all these places. Maybe I can even continue keeping this diary there. Man, we really gotta get out of here. I almost screamed. Frank nodded at me with his fox head. It appeared like he was smiling, but I couldn't tell with his dog-like face. It was hard to tell. Yep. This is a fox voice. Don't worry, I'm way ahead of you. I've already got a plan. Really? What's your plan? Frank smiled at me and pointed at a number of players around the prison. They weren't wearing orange like us, or blue like the guards. They wore different outfits of various designs. I wasn't familiar with them, but judging by the outfits, they weren't from the prison. They are, Frank said. Who are those guys? I've never seen them before. Frank smiled at me. they are what you call guests. Guests? Yeah, these guests are different players than our prisoners, guards, or criminals. For whatever reason, the president let these guys visit and roam around on dead like this. Well, once they roam around the complex, they can do some pretty cool stuff. Cool stuff? Like? These guests had gotten my attention. Who were they? And what exactly were these cool things that they could do? Well, for one thing, they can open the doors of just about any room. You know what I mean? Huh? Frank winked at me, and I smiled at him. I was beginning to realize just how easy and freaking it was to break out of the prison, or at least to have a chance of breaking out of it. There were so many guests today that it was almost certain that some kind of breakout would be attempted through them. This would be fun. Frank wasted no time. He casually approached one of the guests from behind his cell and talked to him. Hey, Mac, having a fun visiting the prison? Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool, the guest said. Want to know what's cooler? Yeah. Witnessing a full-scale riot. You don't just walk up to someone in a prison and say that, hey, dude, you want to witness a full-scale riot? Sure, that sounds totally radical. Thanks, man. No problem. Witnessing a full-scale riot. How about that? Would you want to try that out here in the prison? Wow, that sounds cool. I was both surprised and shocked at how the guest just agreed to what Frank said. Before I knew it, he had opened the door of our cell. Maybe getting out of here would not be as hard as I thought it would be. But there are still so many prisoners who seem to fall over and over again getting out of... Oh, that says fail. Sorry, my vision's distorted due to tiredness. Anyway, once the cells were opened, you could kind of guess what happened next. Me, Frank, and several other inmates made a break for it. Hey! Hey, what's going on again? The prisoners are out again! Whoa! I hate this job. I could hear the sounds of various frustrated guards behind me. Gotta say, I felt kinda sorry for them. Now I realized breakouts and escape attempts were just daily occurrences here at the prison. Oh well, what was a noob like me to do? Of course, I could just join in the fun. The armory was already open once we got there. All the guns were waiting for us, and I knew this would be great. I took a shotgun, and I was more than a little ready for what would happen. After all, I had already been in 2 riots before, so I was pretty aware of what was going down. Or at least, that was what I thought. After all, can anyone really predict what can happen in a riot? I mean, it is a riot and chaos, after all. I shot 2 guards that were coming at me. The riot was off to a great start. Oh, smashing! What a great start to a rousing day of rioting. Oh, don't you say, Joffrey? Good shooting, kid. Keep it up. Frank was right with me. He had an assault rifle, and he was taking down his fair share of guards. Come on. Freedom, come on! Freedom is just a few doors away! Even before he could start going for those doors, I saw Frank get nailed by a guard. He fell to pieces, and I knew that he would respawn in the cafeteria with no gun. I shot the guard who nailed him, but I felt something lock on my wrist. I fell to my knees. I had been handcuffed from behind. This was so revolting. I get it, because they were revolting. That's a good one. Me and Frank respawned right at the cafeteria, just where I expected to respawn. As usual, we had no weapons at all. We had lost our chance. They got us! Oh no! I said. Wait, no, sorry. They got us, I said. Frank shrugged his shoulders. We both moved towards the serving area, and they gave us milk and beans. What a healthy breakfast. And I have definitely eaten much better meals. But at least it wasn't oatmeal. That's actually a misspelling in a book. At least it wasn't outmeal. I ate my lunch with my head bowed and my spirit very low. I felt terrible. You know, with my spirit very low and my head bowed. Frank was the complete opposite. He was still smiling and seemed to take what happened in stride. "What does it take to get out of here?" I asked Frank. Frank didn't like the meal, but he didn't seem too disappointed about what happened. "Don't feel so sad, noob," Frank said. I couldn't understand why Frank wasn't feeling bad. We had just failed an escape attempt. I had failed another escape attempt. That's actually what it says. I was really losing hope. It seemed as if I would be stuck here forever. "Don't feel bad. Hey, they caught us. We failed. I failed. Again." So? "So, you seem to be hitting us." Wait, what? So? "So, you seem to be picking this too well." Frank looked utterly surprised. "And why shouldn't I? Weren't you listening to me earlier? There's so many escape attempts you can do here at the jail. Even when I spent my first time here, I tried so many times. And guess what? I failed all of them, huh? All of them except one. That one successful try was all I needed to escape. I know we'll get out of here. Eventually, we'll just have to keep trying." I had to give it to Frank. He wasn't the kind of guy who gave up easily. You know, like how the main character said he was in the first chapter of the book. I had to give it to Frank. Wait, he wasn't the kind of person that gave up easily, and he did have a point. We could keep doing this over and over again. The thought comforted me, eating those awful beans with milk. It comforts me now as I write this in the diary. Frank is right. So they shoot me. Then what? I'll just reappear back here in the cafeteria or anywhere else in the prison where I can escape again. That ain't so bad. Well, it's getting late and I'm getting pretty sleepy. I'll think of another escape plan tomorrow. So I get shot. So what? I'll just come back to life, stupid. Entry 5. Chilling out. I woke up to the happy sound of our guards exchanging fire with other prisoners. Haha, there was a riot in the jail. As always, I realized that Frank was right. Riots and escape attempts were a daily occurrence in this place. I could now how important it really was just to stay calm and just to be patient in this place. Would you believe that I just walked out to the yard and exercised? Yes, believe it or not, I just walked out during yard time and lifted weights. I was able to do some real great progress on my bench press. It felt good, and I thought I added some mass to my chest. Great workout. After lifting the weights, I played some basketball with other like-minded inmates. All of this while a prison riot erupted inside. It was kind of funny and surreal moment. There we were, playing basketball, as previously stated, in our spare time, outside the guards and the prisoners were shooting it out. It was kind of funny too, as previously stated. Because some other inmates joined us later. They were admitted that they got shot and just decided to play ball instead of rioting. When we were done, I saw Frank approach me. "Hey, kid!" "Frank, where were you today? I woke up and you were gone from the cell." "Oh, sorry. I noticed there was a big riot going on, and I decided to try to escape. I had nothing to lose, so why not riot?" So why not riot? There's no comma there. "And you didn't try to wake me up when the riot broke out?" "I did, man. Believe me. I kept shaking you, but you wouldn't budge from the bed. You were sleeping and snoring really loudly. You must have stayed up all night writing in that notebook of yours. After a while, I had to stop trying, 'cause I wanted to be in the riot. I didn't want my chance to pass, too, you know?" I was a bit angry for 1 minute. Then it passed. I realized that Frank was right. I do love keeping a diary. It calms me down, you know? Frank couldn't let that hold him back. Yeah, I understand. It's cool, man." "Great. Well, anyway, you didn't miss lunch. You didn't miss much. As usual, the guards were on top of the situation. They got me, so now I'm back here, just like you." As always, Frank took it all in stride. Now I was taking it all in stride, too. What did I do the whole day? You'll never believe it, but I just ate the awful beans and milk in the prison. I exercised in the yard during free time and just basically chilled out. The day actually passed much better and sooner than I thought. Now, don't get me wrong, I still want to get out of this dump. I still haven't given up on that dream of mine. So many great Roblox servers to see. And I'm stuck here. But it's a good idea to seriously consider what Frank said. It's better to keep cool while inside the prison instead of always being disappointed with every failed escape attempt. This time, I'll be a lot more patient with my time in here. I know I'll get out of here one way or the other. I just have to be cool. You can't see it, but there's a lot of weird spacing in these. Like, that last sentence where it says, I just have to be cool, there were like 20 spaces in between two letters. I don't understand. 2 words. Entry 6. An important discovery. Okay, it has been a while since I wrote an entry. Why? Don't worry. I have good reasons. You see, I've been doing a lot of observing and spying around. While riots and all sorts of chaos and mayhem happened all around me, I put my time and effort to better use. I decided just to chill out, sit back, and observe stuff as previously stated in the last chapter. I observed the goings-on in the prison, and I have come to several key conclusions. I noticed that there are guards who go up to a special control room above us. These guards aren't just the usual garden variety who patrol the prison and shoot at us to keep us inside. Nope, I have discovered something very important. These guards actually patrol the control room. This room controls the locks on all the doors in the prison. This is such a landmark discovery. I realized that if I could somehow overpower one of them, get their clothes, and get into the control room, I could unlock all the doors in the prison, even the gates. In my disguise, slipping out of the prison would be a piece of cake. This is such an awesome discovery. I'm so excited. I can barely control myself. I've mentioned their schedule, and I've memorized their schedule and their shifts. If my observations about this are correct, tomorrow is the day that there is only one of them in the control room, and no one else is with him. I can easily overpower him and get inside. Slipping inside as the guard should be easy. If I play my cards right, I am so excited. Tomorrow, I'll finally be free of this place. It'll be so wonderful. Wish me luck. Entry 7. I am so sad. I can guess what happens in this chapter. Also, it says entry. It usually says entry 7, and then there's a colon, and this is the title. It doesn't have it in this one for some reason. Okay, well, it doesn't have the colon. I don't know why. Okay, well, here I am again, writing again. Sigh. Is that a sigh? Can someone really sigh in writing? Well, I just sighed right now. Oh, excuse me. A sigh of, well, frustration. Why? Well, I'm writing to you again, and I'm still in prison. Man, all that positivity and good vibes from yesterday seem to just evaporate today. Today was the day I was supposed to get out of here. I had it all planned down. Geeze. And still this happens. Geeze. Okay. Keep cool and keep it together. Let me start from the beginning. Writing about it isn't going to do much good. Okay, so I had it all planned out as previously stated. I know I did. I memorized the guard's shift as previously stated. I also memorized his path to control room as previously stated. There were so many days spent of just simply observing those guys come and go. I just did my thing in the yard, ate my beans, and patiently observed them. Today was the day where the weakest or most experienced guard would take his shift, and I knew that he would go around the corner where there was no one in sight. It was a perfect place to spring an ambush on him, planned to a T. Sigh again. Well, today I saw the guard. He walked down the hallway just as I had expected him to. Everything he did came as no surprise to me. Like I said, I knew his route. I knew what he was going to do. Everything. In those few minutes he walked towards the control room, I knew everything about him. I knew his hair color. I knew his blood type. I knew his mother's maiden name. I knew who his girlfriend was. I could do everything. I just lost my place in the stupid book. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I knew everything about him. He turned around that little dark corner where there was no one. He was alone and vulnerable. That was when I made my move. I was hiding in wait, and I tasered him immediately. The guard down fell, then down. The guard went down like a sack of potatoes. How did I get the taser? Well, Frank and I hid some weapons in a good place, just in case of an emergency, or a rainy day, an emergency. We decided that it was best to keep some weapons for ourselves in case of any kind of strange incident. Rainy day, emergency, strange incident. Today, Okay, yeah, it actually said that. Today fit all those descriptions, so I used the taser we hid. Well, once he was down, it was easy for me to get his clothes before he vanished. I was able to get my disguise, and now I was a prison guard. No one even noticed me. As I walked toward the control room, nobody gave me a second look at all. I looked just like another stressed out prison guard, out to do his civic duty. I forgot to mention the clothes came with the control room's key card, so entering it was a cinch. I just put the key card on the slot beside the door, and voila! I was inside the control room. The huge panel was right in front of me. There was the panel and several screens. The panel had so many lights and switches and looked pretty intimidating. At first glance, you would think that you needed to be some kind of rocket scientist to operate it. Turns out, it's actually pretty simple to use. Just get close to it, and there'll be a pop-up that says unlock doors. Oh, wow. How convenient. I hope that's in real prisons. That's so convenient. Wonder of wonders. Who would have thought that life could be so simple? Once I pressed the right button, everything just followed. I watched the monitors in front of me with excitement. They showed all the doors, everything opening up. Once everything opened up, all the prisoners went crazy. They started foaming from the mouth and pooping everywhere. Another riot started. In all the confusion, I could easily slip away. I did it, or at least I thought I did. Hey, you! I turned around and saw a guard right behind me. He had seen everything that I did. I had no chance to do anything. Oh man, no way. That was the only thing I could say before he shot me. I fell to pieces, and as usual, respawned in the cafeteria. My guard suit was gone, along with the taser. When I reappeared at the cafeteria, I just couldn't take it. It was so frustrating. I was so frustrated. Bummer. That was like all of my hard work and patience down the drain. Man, when am I ever going to get out of here? And you know what's the worst part? When I went back to my cell, Frank was gone. He didn't come back. I guess it's clear that he actually managed to escape in the confusion of the riot. I don't believe this. He got away, but I'm still rotting in here. Now without Frank, it will be much harder to stay optimistic. I guess I shouldn't even be surprised anymore. That's just like me. I am so unlucky. I feel so sad. I almost don't want to sleep anymore. When is my luck gonna change? Not sleeping is a sign of depression. No, sleeping too much is a sign of depression. Sleeping in general is a sign of depression. Entry 8. You've earned it. Yoo-hoo. Yippee. Yay, yay, yay. You won't believe it. Hey, I can't believe it. I'm writing this from the outside. The sun is shining. It's a great day outside. The sun is shining. It's a great day outside. I just read that twice. The prison. I almost forgot what it's like to just walk outside on a clear day and take in the sights. I always took such a little stuff for granted. What am I saying? I think you know. I did it. I'm free. Finally, let me write that again. I am free. And it feels great. It's so amazing how I actually did it. But again, let me start from the beginning. I always can't help but get ahead of myself in my entries. You don't say. I was actually a combination of luck and skill. I was out in the yard and feeling blue. I still couldn't get over yesterday's bad luck. I was just sitting at the stands in the yard when I spotted a hammer. It was right beside me. I'd always heard the stories about hammers, always being on those benches, but I never believed them. Well, there was one right now. I took it and hurried to the bathroom. I would not be so stupid as to just hold on to it. I knew now that the guards would eventually spot it on me, so I hurried to the bathroom as fast as I could. Once I got there, I saw the toilet, and then I went to the bathroom. No, and I knew what I had to do. I had to stop all the ghosts that was coming through. I started hammering away at the toilet with all of my might. I didn't stop and kept pounding the toilet like my life depended on it. In a way, I guess it did, right? Eventually, the toilet came off. Whoa-wee. And there was a hole in the wall. It was the best looking hole in a wall ever. I'm sorry. Let me just read that again. That was a play on how earlier he said, I just have to write that again. Oh my gosh, I lost my place again. Man, I'm just repeating myself. I'm just a piece of garbage. Eventually, the toilet came off, and there was a hole in the wall. It was the best looking hole in a wall ever. I could stare at it all day, but I didn't. I got a hold of myself in my complete joy and entered the hole. It was just as Marty had described the first time I entered the jail. It was just as Marty had described the first time I had entered the jail. The hole led to the drainage system under the jail. Yutch. It says yutch. But so what? I didn't care. I waded through that water and grimed to freedom. Oh yeah. Then it happened. I should have known. The drainage led outside right at the front of the prison gate of the prison. I was outside the prison, but there was a guard just at the gate. I knew he spotted me, and I expected the inevitable gunshot. The shot that never came. Go ahead, the guard said. You're letting me go? I asked. Yeah, you got this far. No sense in getting you back inside. Go on ahead. You're free. You've earned it. Those were the best words that I have ever heard in my life. Not like the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King. That's not a good speech. It's not good words. I just walked out of the prison and out into the town outside. The guard kept his word and didn't shoot me. I'm writing this as a free man. I'm in the town and no guard can do a thing about it. Wow. And you know what? That's the funny thing. I know that I am free. I kind of miss the prison. Oh, okay. I know. Maybe I've lost my mind. But I miss my friends like Frank and Joe. You know, the guys who escaped. I miss all the riots and the attempts to get out. I mean, now that I look back on it all, it wasn't really that hard being there. It was actually kind of fun, as previously stated. Maybe that's why those criminals do their best to start riots and break back into the prison. Maybe that was the whole point of being in jail there. I mean, it wasn't really like most prisons. You got shot, you respawn. You start a riot, you respawn without your gear. Same thing. Maybe it wasn't really such a nasty place, even though you only were fed beans. Now that I think about it, maybe I'll go break back into jail. Maybe I'll be the one who'll free prisoners now. Or maybe I can even be a guard now. It'll be fun getting them prisoners in line. Heh. I don't know. Now that I'm free, the possibilities are endless. I can do anything except become God. But maybe the best thing to do for now would be just to enjoy my freedom. Onwards to the new adventures, to see new worlds, and to make new friends. After all, it's just like what the guard said, I earned it. The end. Will Noob's expectations of other Roblox games live up to reality? Will he meet his friends Joe and Fred again? Will Noob ever repay Marty for his betrayal? Follow the adventures of Noob and find answers to these and other questions in the exciting sequel to the diary. This story in a diary of a Roblox Noob. Project Pokemon. Alright. I'll read that one next.